there is this mentality of like we're all doing this together. We're all here for the same reasons, albeit different visions of what those dreams could be.
Jay, this is great. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
I'm speaking with Jay Diaz, the filmmaker, the writer director behind. Am I saying this right? Angeleno? Is that the
Angelina? Yes.
Angeleno? Which is premiering at Dances with Films. Jay, this film is just so charming. It is so charming. Where did it come from?
Oof. I mean, the short story, I guess, would be it was always a story that I had in my head ever since college, which is now about 20 plus years ago. But I didn't know what it was yet until probably the pandemic, I think. During 2020, it was that shift of where is media and movies going, and I think there was enough time between then between my college career and where I am now that I kind of wanted to focus on a story. I'm like, would it be like for a character who kind of put their filmmaking aspirations aside because of A, B, and C, so to speak, which I think is a universal story in general, is because I think a lot of people, have these dreams, whether it's being in any career, like really, and there's always something that kind of holds them back. And so I kind of took a lot about, my own journey as a filmmaker and just wanted to create this story of what that would look like, but in a very grounded way. So, yeah, it really kind of came from that and just really pushing to see what it would take to actually make it happen. I think was the other thing too. So it was like this flow of like it started out as a script, but I was like, well, let's see how far we can actually take it, and then this is the result of that, which I'm really proud of.
Yeah, I mean it has such heart to it. It feels just like it sounds cliche to say a film feels honest, but this one does. It really truly does. And I love the vision of LA in this. It feels like again, this just feels like again you know what LA is like, but this isn't the glitz and glamour. This is just the everyday people trying to get by. What is it about LA that makes it so unique and drives people like we this American dream idea?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me at least, being a first generation American and having my parents come here from El Salvador, they came here with a dream as well. And so I take that with me and seeing everyone who comes to LA for the different reasons, but I think all of it is to dream. And I think LA in general is the mecca of the melting pot of culture, I think.
Hmm.
And it's one of those cities, and I get to travel a lot for work, and I had my fair share of different cities, but I think what has made LA special to me, and this, I'm not trying to be biased being from here, but I think it is where all these cultures come together, and it's just a synergy, or like it's just something about it that where everything just kind of works together and everyone kind of knows, why they're there. So they're all sort of, you know, rooting for each other in some way. I don't buy the culture that people think that, the transplants come here to ruin LA. I think they're just as much of a part of it as anyone else. So I don't have the transplant hate that a lot of true Angelenos have, just because I know what the city represents to them as well. And so I think that's where Angeleno kind of, I definitely wanted to show light into those different versions of LA that I think we see. So yeah.
Yeah, I love excuse me. Um, I love watching Angel. I think the character's name is Angel. Um, navigate this life. It feels like it's got some faded dreams, but it also has a lot of hope. It's not a sad story, but there's an honesty, something raw to it. And I love there's something with I don't want to give anything away, but there's an aspect of this story where he seems to have to own pieces of his own story for him to feel more whole. And I wondered in your mind, what is it about owning the parts of our story, whether it's the difficult challenges or culture or these aspects that make us feel more human?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. I think for me, we all sort of have this idea of what, we want our lives to be. And, for a lot of us, it doesn't necessarily work out the way we want. But I think truly we all try to make the best of what we have. And so, some are more think of it differently than others. Some see it as successes, others see it as failures. So it all kind of gives it perspective. And so, but for me, I think I value so much of the idea that we should celebrate everything, no matter how big or small. And I think those are the people that I gravitate towards too, and that's where I see success a lot in the people that are just genuinely grateful for where they are versus people just kind of hustling and kind of doing their thing and their grind, and that's fine and that's okay. But I think what I wanted to show about LA in general is that hope that everyone still has, even when it's not working out the way that they wanted to. It's like it's still there, and that's what I find the most beautiful about this city.
Well, with that being said, I want to ask you about one of the lines in the film. Again, without giving any spoilers, there's a moment where someone asks Angel, "How are you not angry at the world?" And his comment
Mm,
was, "I'm just grateful to be here."
yeah.
Um, can you speak to that idea? Because I mean, we talked a little bit about this here about owning our stories and coming together, but is there something about gratitude that helps keep that hope alive?
100%. I think that is the main reason why this city thrives in the way that it does, even with all its issues and its problems that everyone outside of LA kind of sees. y- there is this mentality of like we're all doing this together. We're all here for the same reasons, albeit different visions of what those dreams could be, but I don't know, it's really hard to explain, I guess, of like what that means to me. But gratefulness is such a big part of me as a filmmaker as well. And I think that's why I wanted to tell a story like this, where, yes, it is grounded in reality, but it does have this hope to it where I want others to kind of view LA the way that I see, which is just a really cool place to be a part of. And, whether there's this I feel like there's a lot of like what's going on with LA in general, in the news. And for me, I just wanted to showcase like, yes, this is a part of LA, but then there's also this as
Yeah.
well. And it's like it's all just this cohesive thing that just works well together for me. So
I love that about it. It sort of covers the gambit of there's all sorts of corners to the city. Um, I got to ask you this. I know we're running out of time, but I wanted to ask you this before we go. Uh, LA, New York. I mean, this is an epic, I don't want to use the term rivalry, epic comparison, shall we say.
mhm.
And that's on display in this film.
Yeah,
What in your mind is the key difference between LA and New York?
I've been to New York quite a few times. I love New York personally. I think it's a really cool city. I honestly, the biggest difference, and this I'll give credit to New York on this, is that, with New York, it is this such crowded space, right? So like you're almost forced to work together. Whereas I think LA, even with the distance of the car culture and like, nobody wants to go from Santa Monica to downtown LA ever, but somehow, uh, we can still find like the fusion of culture that I think works really well in LA, versus New York, where I think in New York, everyone still kind of sticks to their own little subcultures, but I think in LA it just blends well together just because we're all over.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I love LA. I've had the privilege to go a few times. I don't love the 405, but
Nobody.
I don't think anybody does. But the city I love. Honestly, Jay, thank you so much for the time to chat about
Oh, thank you.
Angelino. I really
I really
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it. How do you enjoy the film? I'm excited for the rest of the world to see it. So, we'll see where this journey goes.
I'm sure that everybody's going to love it because it's so much fun. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Jay.